Hey up everybody, welcome back to the Audi Cycling YouTube channel, where today I'm going to be revealing the team that I am going to be selecting for this Velogames Giro d'Italia competition. Of course, this isn't a team that is set in stone. There might be some last minute changes. My first rider is Remco Evenepoel. Kind of unsurprising, I think a lot of people will be selecting Remco, but it just makes the most sense considering that the TTs, he'll probably pick up a few hundred points there, and also he'll probably get a lot of GC points straight from the get-go, although they might relinquish it to some other person because they don't want to hold it all the way through. But anyway, Remco is just a really good choice. He'll probably pick up a few thousand points, and honestly the only thing that's going to stop him is crashing, COVID, or probably the person who I'm selecting next, which is Primoz Roglic. I know that I've been talking some stuff about Roglic and how he's not very good in the third week, yada yada yada, but I just think that Roglic is the second favourite for this race. I've had additions of this team where I've had Almeida in there, but when you look back to things like Catalonia, Almeida was like 2 minutes down in GC, even though he finished in third place, and I just think that if Remco isn't going to win, it's going to be Roglic. And also Roglic is really good at getting bonus seconds, finishing on the podium in stages to try and claw back time to Remco, which he'll probably need to do considering that Remco will probably gain some seconds in the TT. My third rider is Santiago Bortlago, who had a really good Giro last year, and I'm hoping for something similar this year. Although Bahrain do also have Caruso and Haig, I do think that Bortlago has just this really good snap in his legs. I think he's quite fast in a sprint. He also finished third at Liège-Bastogne-Liège this year. He's just had a good string of some GC results this year, and I think that he could honestly finish in the top 10 in this Giro, and I think that maybe he's a little bit under the radar and maybe not a lot of people will pick him because there are a lot of good 8-point riders that you could go with. I think that Bortlago for me is my favourite one. My fourth rider, also in the climber category, is Lennard Kemna. Again, I'm expecting him to be quite popular. He's a returning act to my team. He was in my team last year, and I just think that Kemna's a really good one. His TT will hopefully set him off on the right foot tomorrow, and then also hopefully he'll get a top 10 on that stage 9 TT as well. And although he's going for GC, which probably won't be kind of optimal in terms of scoring points, if he does drop out of GC, he'll then go into the breakaway in the final week, and I think that's pretty perfect timing. So hopefully Kemna scores a load of points, and I think that he's a good combination of a GC rider who's also quite good at breakaways. My fifth rider in the sprinter category is Caden Groves. You'll notice it isn't Mads Pedersen, and that's because I can't afford him right now because I've got Roglic in my team. But Groves I think provides a good plan B for Mads Pedersen, considering that he fulfills a lot of the qualities that Pedersen has in terms of a rider, a sprinter who can sprint but also climb quite well. He's also got a very strong lead out, and I think that Groves, considering that he won a stage of a Vuelta last year where he wasn't great of a Vuelta last year, to be honest with you, but I think that was perhaps it was his first Grand Tour. He's just kind of getting used to it, and I think I'm expecting good things from Groves in his second Grand Tour. And then my sixth rider is Aurélien Paris-Pentela, probably one of the few riders in this team alongside Remco and Kemna who have been in here for the whole time, because I just think that Paris-Pentela is the best 6-point rider. I made that pretty clear in my preview, and I just think that he provides a choice who could finish top 15 in GC. He could also get in breakaways, hopefully he does, because if he just hangs on to the GC group all the time, he'll just not get that many stage points, which won't be that great. Hopefully he gets into the breakaway, and I think as a 6-point rider, APP just seems like a bit of a no-brainer. My seventh rider is Jake Stewart, actually. I was talking yesterday, I was talking in the long-form content video which I released, where I think that Jake Stewart's quite a good choice, considering that, you know, in the sprints, if he competes in, say, 5 sprints, but he finishes top 10 in all those, then that's actually quite good, because if you were handed a 6-point rider and you were told this person's going to finish in the top 10 5 times, you'd probably be quite happy with that. And I think that's more likely to happen with Stewart because he's a sprinter, rather than trying to pick somebody who's more of like a climbing breakaway type, who in theory could get more points by winning stages, but there's also the risk involved with, are they going to get in the breakaway, you know, who else is in the breakaway, things like that. And I think that sprinting is just more of a consistent game to be banking on, so hopefully Stewart provides a good few hundred points. And then we have Will Barter as my 8th rider, probably the 4-point rider that I'm expecting to be the most selected, considering that he's looked really good this year. Lots of good GC results at Saudi Tour, Gran Camino, and more recently at Tour of Romandy, where he also had a very good TT. So maybe Barter could finish inside the top 10 in a couple of TTs. Maybe he could get in the breakaway, maybe finish top 20, 25 in GC or something like that. And I think that as a 4-point rider, that's a really good thing to be going for. There are some other 4-point riders, like maybe you could go with Lionheart. Somebody pointed out how Stewart and Lionheart swapped sprints in the Vuelta last year, so maybe he could be a good alternate 4-point rider for you to go with. But I think that Barta is going to be a really good one. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He's also in a contract year, so he's probably under pressure to maybe get some good results to secure a contract for next year. And then my last rider in the wildcard category is Simone Consonni, currently. Like I said, there are lots of good 8-point riders. If you've been watching my videos, you'll have seen that Mollema has been in there. But like I said with Stewart, you're kind of banking on Mollema getting in the breakaways. Who else is going to be in the breakaway? And it's just adds a little bit of uncertainty into it. Whereas I know that Consonni is like a top 5 sprinter in this race. And he'll probably pick up quite a few top 5s in the sprints. And honestly, if you would say, Consonni's going to finish top 5 in the sprints 4 times and the other times it's going to be in the top 10, it'll be quite hard for somebody like Mollema or a breakaway rider to really match that. So that's my kind of reasoning behind it at the moment, although it's a very volatile pick. It's very likely that another 8-point rider might get put in there. So this is the 9-man squad that I have going into the Giro d'Italia. It's got basically the 2 biggest GC riders. Then we've got 2 sort of outside GC riders, 3 sprinters, and then 2 other guys. Usually in previous years, it's the guys who finish first and second who get the most points. And therefore, I just think that seems like a good, safe lock to be going with Remco and Roglic. But let me know what you're thinking right now. What team iteration are you on? Be sure to put them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to see things to try and gauge where people are at. And all that is left to say is to stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Salut!